I was in so much pain. But you see that night of losing virginity. Hello my amazing family, welcome back to the channel. My name is MEKNEX and today I'm going to be talking on the topic the reality of losing your virginity, and I'm going to be talking from my personal experience, from bits of other people's experience I've listened to. So you want to stay tuned to the end for this video. So this video is going to be truthful, it's going to be raw, it's going to be educative, and please stay tuned to the end of this video because you are going to get a lot of package for it. Talking from my journey through virginity and then where I'm at now, at what age I lost it, how it felt, what I heard about it, the myths I got, and the reality at the end of the day. I'm going to start from my experience as a 12-year-old girl. At the very early age of 12, I started thinking of sex. At the age of 12, I started taking more notice of myself. I was feeling more in control of my sexuality now. I felt all grown up at this age. I wanted to be like every other girl. So first of all, don't think you are the only person on the journey of virginity, because there are 101 out there, 1001 out there that are still virgins. So I started feeling like I just wanted to experience what every other girl is experiencing. So don't judge from your own mindset that every other girl is experiencing sex and you should experience it. That is the lesson I got to know at an older age. So at this age of 12, I had friends, not really friends, but they were people I were close to. People, like when you have neighbors, they automatically becomes your friend. They were older girls than I was. Then I was 12, some of them were 16, some were 14, some were 20. So at that point of my life, when I started feeling more in control of my sexuality and I started feeling more girly, I was privileged to be around these girls, and what they mostly talk about were boys, their relationship, how their boyfriend treated them, and sometimes their boyfriends would come around to visit. Sometimes I went out with some of them to go and see their boyfriends, and all these things are just making me wanted to be that kind of girl and just feel it, like be a girl in a relationship and have sex. So within the space of 1 year, all of these girls, should I say some of these girls, but it sounds like a lie, but all of these girls got pregnant. All of them. There were 5. Okay, not all of them. There were 6, but 5 of them that were dear to my heart, all of them got pregnant. It was traumatic for me. I was so young to understand why this should happen. Some of them got rejected by these guys that prophesied love to them, these guys that I saw worshiping their feet. Some of them got rejected. Some of their families were disappointed in them. Some of them ended up with the guy, but he was not treating them right. Some of them were actually happy with the person that got them pregnant and they are still with those people today. And some of them it was just like that. So when this happened, it was so shocking to me. There was a day I even went to visit one of them. I started crying. I became conscious of the fact that sex could actually make you pregnant, and before you could have sex, you should have a boyfriend. So I vowed to myself and said, this is not the life I want. I do not want a situation whereby I have to have a relationship, or I will have to get pregnant outside wedlock and be treated like this. So at that very tender age, I told myself that I wasn't going to let any guy do that to me, and that was the beginning of my virginity journey for me. So at that point, I never admired any girl that had a boyfriend because I was so scared of pregnancy. That stage passed. So what kept me through these years, from that 12 years to my 14, 15 years, was the fear of getting pregnant and the fear of being rejected at the end of the day. So because I didn't want that life, I stayed away from sex. not because I wanted to be a virgin or because I wanted to be pure or anything. There was no understanding whatsoever of what virginity actually is or what losing it truly is. So because I was scared of pregnancy, I stayed away from sex. So when I got to 14 years and so 14 years plus, I met with the Lord. So at this point of my life, I became close with the Lord, and at this point I started getting deeper understanding of what virginity actually means, of what staying away from sex actually means. And then I started seeing it from the scriptures that he that joins his or her body to an harlot becomes one with them. I began to get an understanding that sex was more of a spiritual than a physical thing. I began to grow in the knowledge that sex was not just sex, it was also a sin against God when it is done outside marriage. So I had a lot of teachings and all that convinced me otherwise. And at that point in my life, I got a deeper understanding of what I was actually doing. So I wasn't now only scared of getting pregnant, I was now scared of offending God. I began to understand that my body was a living sacrifice that I was supposed to present to the Lord holy and accepted. More concerned about pleasing God than pleasing any other guy. So this was like between the age of 14 for me to 16, 17. These were conscious efforts, and that is why I don't forget those dates. So when I grew from this stage, I got to the stage of peer pressure. So I began to make friends at this age. I was now a youth and I felt like I knew everything. I was now in control of my life. So I began to make friends, and these friends would tell me that I was too rigid. Some of them would not talk to me. Some of them would not say anything about their relationships around me. Some of them were hiding the truth about what they were actually experiencing from me because they did not want me to judge them, because they only saw me as that girl that would judge them. And that was because I was always preaching against sex before marriage. I was always against it. So at this point, I started having friends that I was more open to, and some were telling me at that point that if you live your sex life till you are older, you are going to experience more pains, you are going to bleed more, you are going to... There's just a lot of things. Some of my friends at that point, they were just like, I don't want this virginity thing. See, they kidnap girls of virginity and all that stuff. Some of them will say dating a guy without sex, what is the essence of dating that guy? So at that point, I was now in the middle of peer pressure. So the other thing you need to know about virginity is do not let anybody pressure you into it, because when you let people pressure you into it, you are just going to regret at the end of the day. Losing your virginity does not change who you are. Losing your virginity does not make you more of a human being or less of a human being. It does not reduce you nor increase you. But if you do it when you are not ready, you might have the wrong mindset. You might have the wrong trauma, or you might have the wrong self-esteem about it. You might just have the wrong perception about it. So do not let anybody pressure you into it. Do it when you think you are ready, when you know you are ready, and when God is right with it. So do not let anybody pressure you, because at the end of the day, when there is consequences, you are going to bear it alone. When there is an outcome, maybe STDs, maybe pregnancy, maybe whatsoever, you are going to bear it alone. Don't let anybody make you feel like you're doing something wrong by trying to keep yourself, because then I felt bad. A lot of people made me feel bad. They made me feel like I was not supposed to be in the group. I was not supposed to be a friend. Some even stopped talking to me. Some would talk to me, but never about sex or their boyfriends or anything like that. So do not let anybody pressure you. Do not let anybody pressure you into having sex. Even the guy involved. Some of the time they are not pressuring you because they love you. They are pressuring you because that is what they want at the moment, and immediately they hit what they want at the moment, they run away. So do not let anybody pressure you. This is the truth about virginity, that most people make mistake. At a point in my life, when I started opening up to relationship, I wanted, see, anybody that tell you that peer pressure is not real, just look the person in the face and say you are a liar. Whatever you don't want, avoid friends that want it, because at the end of the day you will see yourself moving towards that direction. Those pressures and what they were saying, I decided to open up to relationship. I started dating, but I dated guys that were in circles of that believed what I believed, that believed that sex before marriage was a sin, and because it was a sin, they were not going to have sex before marriage. So some of them actually agreed to it, and some of them did not agree to such fact. So at a point in my life, I had a boyfriend that was blackmailing me, that prove to me you love me by giving me sex. So you see, there's going to be pressure from both the female and the male part. And when I told some of my friends that this guy is asking me for sex and he's doing it in a way of blackmail, like, prove to me you love me by giving me sex, some of them say, what is there? He has been there for you all this while. He has been dating you for a long time. Why not give in? So like I said earlier, never allow anyone pressure you into sex. So why this guy kept on pressuring me, I asked him 2 questions. Are you ready to be a father? The answer he gave me, if it's pregnancy you're scared of, you're not going to get pregnant. Second, I thought you said you were going to marry me. He said yes, he's still going to marry me. Then if you're going to marry me, why not wait? So that was how we stopped that, and I wasn't even scared of breaking off the relationship. I just ended things with him and focused on my life. Fast forward to marriage. I finally got married and then had sex, and I was anticipating something big from the sex. I was anticipating that since sex is something so talked about, so rated big and high, so it's going to be something I would really like. First night I was in so much pain, so this is what I was going to do for free. No. So you see, virginity is not having sex is not all that glamorous for ladies. Don't let anybody lie you into it. It's not all that glamorous for ladies. Maybe when you do it over time, you might get used to it, but you see that night of losing virginity, it is not all that glamorous. So I cried through the night. The next day we tried again. I cried through it. The third day, okay, I finally had some penetration and then some drops of blood. That was it. And I was like, no, I'm never going to do this. I was so sure that this is when I'm ready for this, not those times, because those times I was just imagining losing this to someone that would eventually leave me. The truth you don't know is that sex is not all that precious, it's not all that glamorous. So don't let anybody deceive you into it. So when you are forced into it and then you step in and find out that this thing is not even as they say, you are going to get angry with yourself and maybe with the person. So that night I realized that virginity did not add anything nor remove anything from me. I felt the same. I did not feel different. I did not feel like the girl on the mountain. I just felt the same. I felt the same person I was. And a second truth that we do not know about virginity is, if virginity is the only thing you have to offer, after that you become empty. But if you have other things to offer, if you have built yourself to a state of confidence, to a state of I know what I have that is not just my body, you are going to feel better after losing your virginity. So these were the truths that we were not told about virginity. We were just to keep your virginity, and then the man that will love you will love you. Some men will still take your virginity and they will not value you one bit. After losing my virginity, sex did not become pleasurable for me, even for the next 1 month. Thinking okay, once I lose my virginity I will start enjoying what every other girl is enjoying is a lie. But you know, sometimes what you are stealing to do tastes sweeter than actually what you have. So maybe it's going to be sweeter outside marriage because you are stealing it, but inside marriage it was not it was not all that wow. So back to the pain that I was told about. So it was very painful, but because we took it slowly, we were not rushing to anywhere, I did not really bleed. But I know a lot of people who told me they were bleeding all through. They had to wear pad and all that, but that was because maybe they had a forceful penetration. So if you are thinking of losing your virginity, I think you should go slow and make sure you are with the right. Don't lose your virginity when you are not ready. Don't lose your virginity with the person you are not sure of. Don't lose your virginity when you think God is angry with you. Don't lose your virginity when you think it's against your faith. Don't lose your virginity when you are not. So losing your virginity does not make you less of a person, but when you hold your virginity, you feel like you own yourself. You feel more like you own yourself and not anyone else, and you feel more confident. Like, from my experience, I know when I date a guy and the guy misbehaves, I could easily walk away, and that was because I was owning my stuff, I was owning my person, I was owning my body. I wasn't pressured, I wasn't blackmailed into it. A lot of guys tried to blackmail me into it. Some kept telling me that, won't you still lose this to a guy? He's still a guy that. But at the end of the day, it was not about losing it. It was about owning my stuff. It was about being clear-headed. So when you are dating and you want to be clear-headed, it is best to stay celibate. It is best to stay in that relationship without sex, because it is easy for you to know why you love this person, what you are doing with this person, what you actually want from this person, what relationship do you really want from this person. But when you are in a relationship that you cloud your sense of reasoning with sex, you're going to forget. You're going to forget who you are. You're going to forget why you are there. You're going to forget a lot of things. So if you want to own your stuff, if you want to keep a clear head, you don't want to keep remembering people that you've slept with over the years, then keeping yourself is best. You don't have to be a virgin. You can become a fresh virgin for the Lord. Just start owning your stuff. It is not easy. And one thing I noticed about sex is addictive. So when you are a virgin, it is easier for you to say no to sex than when you are not. So immediately you lose your virginity, it takes God's grace for you to be able to reject sexual advances. I don't know where it is proven, but I know this for a fact. Most girls confess to it. They tell me they can't say no. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to say no. And that is because they've gone into it once. But you can get the Lord to help you, and that happens. So sex is addictive. Once you start, it is difficult to stop, and that is why being a virgin is golden. It helps you say no. And one other thing is, ignorance is not a virtue. I know a lot of girls who has lost themselves because of ignorance. So whatsoever information you need to have about being a virgin, whatsoever information you need to have about sex, get it. It is because of ignorance that pair will pressure you into having sex when you are not ready. It is because of ignorance that you think being a virgin is weird. It is because of ignorance that you think being a virgin or that you're still a virgin makes you less of a lady, and those are not true. Being a virgin is an advantage to you. It doesn't mean you're better than anybody, but it helps you stay in control of your mind. It helps you stay in charge of your stuff. But if virginity is the only thing you have, you don't have any other thing, you just pride in being a virgin, it's going to go one day, and when it goes, you don't have any other thing to pride in. So that self-dignity, self-worth, self-assurance, it is that being assured of who you are is the best thing you can do for yourself. So being a virgin, not being a virgin, just be assured of who you are, who God has made you, how he has made you, and what he has made you. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have questions. I hope you have more ideas on what I should talk on. I know I have not exhausted everything about this topic in this video. I just spoke from my personal experience and what I actually think it is like and what it was actually like to me. Please give me a comment in the comment section below, and if you like this kind of video, give this video a thumbs up, and I promise to do more of this kind of content. All right, but guys, see you in my next one. Cheers.